Yeah, two very different games. Went through a stretch there. We were just shooting the cover off it. I don't know how many games in a row we had made 14 or more threes. Obviously, culminating with that 23 made threes against Newberry. Couldn't have shot any better, and was really. Thought our defense in the first half against Newberry was okay, but I thought it was really, really good in the second half, and we were able to kind of build on that and string it together. And thought we played. Two halves of really good D against Mars Hill. So that's three straight halves where we've looked more like who we want to be on that end of the floor in terms of, sliding and challenging and making things difficult and checking out and all the stuff that goes into winning. It's good. As a coach, obviously you like the nights you shoot it great, but to me it's much more important on the nights like last night where, we were 8 for 28 from three, got some good looks that didn't go down. Maybe took a couple questionable ones, but for the most part, we generated pretty good looks, missed some layups at the rim, and to win on a night where you don't have it, at least from the three-point line, and be able to win by the amount we did against a really quality team is a testament to how well we defended, how well we rebounded, and that got us out in transition. I thought, even though we didn't shoot the three well, we scored 98 because we were able to get the ball downhill. I thought, Devin and Boss, they were really trying to get into them, and those guys were, getting by and getting downhill. Cam Henry had, I think 4 threes, 3 of them in the second half, super timely when they made run, and, we got it, got up to, I think, 22 in the second half. They cut it to 10. We turned it over against their press, and I think made a couple careless plays, some above the break turnovers that turned into pick six, lose Brooks in transition. They get offensive rebound. Brooks tips it out to Beelan for 3, and all of a sudden it's a 10-point game. Place is rocking, and there's 11 minutes to go. And I thought from there we really stabilized on both ends, but our defense carried the day. And so those wins where you defend and you rebound, you take care of the ball, that's a good formula for us. If we make shots, then you're going to have a lot of success, and if you don't, you give yourself a chance every night. Yeah, Cam Calhoun to me was the best player on the floor. And there was a lot of good players out there on both teams. He was awesome. Came in when it's a physical, tough game. That's when Cam's at his best. That guy's 6'5", 6'4", 6'5", 190 pounds. But if you cut him open, he'd be about 7'2", 320. That guy he's got a huge heart, great toughness, competes his brains out, and he was. We had a lot of guys play well, but he was the best player. Rondi, I thought was solid. Wasn't his best, but certainly was a contributor. And Anthony, on a night where he has 2 points, and he missed some bunnies at the rim and some shots that he normally makes. Still, assisting and rebounding, finding teammates. I think he finished with 7 rebounds and 5 assists, and felt like he had more than that. But he's the engine that makes us go. I don't know that he's our best player, but we don't have anybody who's a more important player for us than Anthony Brown. Yeah, look, you're never, as a coach, where you want you to be. You can always get better in really every area. We talk all the time about, what's our goal, and then what do the actions have to be to achieve that, right? What do we have to do to achieve that? What, from a daily, preparation standpoint, from how we practice to things you're doing individually. What do we have to do to achieve our goals? We talked about it last night, before the game, in terms of like, what do these games mean? And I think, they mean everything, because a couple things. One is these guys prepare and work year round. College basketball has become a 12-month deal, and these guys, there's only a finite amount of times they get to put the uniform on and compete. We're guaranteed, I think, 30 games this year, and then now SAC tournament 31, and maybe NCAA's 32. So guaranteed 32 games. Anything else more than that, we got to earn. We had to earn more than 30. We've got it to 32. We're going to have to earn more if we want to get more. And so with that being said, when you have 32 guaranteed opportunities now to do it, man, you don't want to take any one of those games for granted. And it's great what we've done. We talk all the time in our program about having a windshield mentality, and talk to them about the fact that, hey, the rearview mirror exists, but the reason it's so much smaller than the windshield is because it's really about what's in front of you. It's about what you're doing right now. You want to grow and learn from the past, and then you want to get to and focus all of your attention on what's right in front of you. What's 10 miles down the road you can't see, 5 miles down the road you can't see. What's in the past behind you, grow, learn from it, but everything has to be about the now. And so I think that's a big thing, within our program, and part of the reason I think we've been able to be pretty consistent is we really do try to stay, cling to that and make sure that our guys are focused on that. And it's you're not doing anything unique. It's not really the in terms of the will to win, and the will to win is common. I think everybody in a competitive situation wants to win, or almost everybody. That's not going to separate you. It's the will to prepare that makes you special. We talk all the time about that old George Washington quote, do common things in an uncommon way and you will capture the attention of the world. Well, that's, we're practicing, everybody's practicing. We're scouting, everybody's scouting. We're lifting weights, everybody's lifting weights. We're, doing skill development, everybody's doing skill development. We're not doing anything that's revolutionary. We just got to do what we do at the highest level, take advantage of every opportunity to compete, and try to be, as we get here, we always talk about, we want to play to our standard on a every game basis. And that's one goal. And then the larger picture goal is we want to be at our best when it matters most. Well, when it matters most is right around the corner. So we want our trajectory to be going up. I thought there was a time during the winning streak, and this happens when you go on these long winning streaks, there's some slippage. Defensively in particular, maybe some guys not as focused, not as locked in, not concentrating, and we were compensating with our shooting and still winning games by large margins. But I could see it, and I was trying to get them to see it and remain self-critical. And these last three halves, particularly in the defensive end, I know we're, for the most part, we're going to score. We got a lot of guys put the ball in the basket. That's not been an issue for us. Right now we're the best field goal percentage defensive team in the country, and I think we rank in the top, 3 or 4 in the nation in both offensive and defensive efficiency. But defense is where we hang our hat. That's got to be the foundation, and our offense is so much better when we defend and rebound the way we have the last three halves. Yeah, I think they're certainly a lock to be in the NCAA tournament, and you could make a pretty compelling argument or strong argument that they're, maybe the most talented team in our league. Just to have, so many good players up and down the roster. We look at backcourt with Marcel Haskett, Devin Cooper. I mean, both guys are surefire, all league guys, if not first team all league guys. They're both elite. Larry McLeod's best athlete in our league, no question. They got 2 fifth-year seniors, Malik Constantine, Daquan Lilly, that have been there and know what they're doing. They bring other seniors, Zaquan Matthews off the bench. Whitfield's a good player. Zamonic's a 4th-year junior. And they got a new kid, playing for him, and Ace Carter, who transferred in I think in December or January, that's starting to get going, was 4 for 4 last night off the bench and had 12 points. And so he brings another dimension to them. They are extremely deep, extremely talented. It's their senior night. They have, like we mentioned, 5 of their top 6 are seniors. So it's going to be a big night for them. It's certainly we understand, the game and the magnitude and all that. But I know our guys will be excited to play. I think, they really look forward to these challenges and testing themselves against other great teams. And that's how you find out, where you are, as you go and you challenge yourself against an elite team. So going on the road, hopefully, if all goes well, our last road game of the year. Everything else, hopefully, from here on out, will be home and neutral. But last road game of the year, great opponent, tremendous opportunity and challenge for our guys. And I know they'll be ready, but certainly we expect Catawba's best. And when Catawba's at their best, they're as good as anybody. I think they're right on the fringe. I think they're 10th in the region, and so they have a lot to play for. JT's done a marvelous job there over the 2 years. You look at their program and their identity is pretty easy to figure out. Like, they're going to play exceptionally hard. They're going to play with unbelievable physicality, and they're going to go to the backboards like nobody else in terms of going to the offensive glass. They are hands down the best rebounding team in the country, I think, both offensively and just in general. So they present tremendous challenges. They play a zone, they mix in some man. They've got, just like Catawba, they got really good players. Dylan Smith has been going. Trenton Gibson's one of the best guards in the league. Tariq Jenkins, a great player. Brandon Mitchell, arguably, best big in the league. Maybe Caleb Hodnett, a pick and pop 4. I mean, they got tons of guys up and down the roster. Some young kids, freshmen that are playing. Keaston Brown and a couple others that are playing minutes and playing well for them. But they have an identity. They know who they are. And you're going to have to it's a big boy game when you play Tusculum. I told the guys before we played them there, that was really what I told them the pregame. I said, hey, I had heard this quote. It's actually a tennis player that said it, so they wouldn't know who it was. But he said, to be a champion, you have to suffer, and you have to be willing to suffer. And I told them, I said, you guys are going to suffer tonight. I mean, these guys are going to be coming. There's going to be jarring collisions. It's going to be the most physical game we've played. You're going to have to be willing to suffer to get the job done. And that'll be, the same thing here on Wednesday night. I mean, they're going to come. They're going to do what they do. We shot it really, really well down there against them. I thought did a good job attacking their zone. Thought we guarded fairly well. And then as the game wore on, as it got to that last 10 minutes, they started to get more offensive rebounds, and I thought we wilted a little bit, just because they just keep coming. They're relentless. So we'll hopefully be better on Wednesday. Obviously, all our attention focused on Saturday, but then we'll do like we do when that game's over. We'll go back like we will today. Today we'll watch film from yesterday. We'll learn from the things we did well, and certainly the areas we got to improve upon. And then, we'll flush it, turn the page, and that windshield mentality, get right to what's next, which is preparing for Catawba.